afternoon, everybody. I want to thank everyone for taking the time and joining us this afternoon. We have a lot of information to cover, not a lot of time to do it. We did have 36 registered attendees, and we are going to record because, as we all know, things come up. We can't always make it on time or at all, so recording will be able to see it. We do thank everybody for coming. Just your presence being here, registering is invaluable. There are some names that did register here that I did want to call out, specifically our Connecticut Ag Commissioner, Brian Herbert, Jamie Smith, the Department Ag of Bureau Director, Thomas Sadi, which is the Connecticut Department of Veteran Affairs, Tom Morgart, State Director, USDA NRCS, Nathan Wilson, State Director, USDA Farm Service Agency, as well as, I see you here, Joan Nichols, Executive Director of Connecticut Farm Bureau, as well as everybody else. Again, we thank you for your time as farmers, as professionals in the agriculture community, and just supporters of ag. We know time is something we never have enough of. So we want to thank you for joining us today. We have a number of veterans here on the call who are farmers in agriculture throughout the state of Connecticut. And today we're going to discuss the chapter information of the Farmer Veteran Coalition and why we're bringing that to the state of Connecticut, what it is, and why we called you all together here today. So before we jump forward, just a couple of housekeeping issues or events. If you do have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We have Amanda Fargo-Johnson from Connecticut RC&D. She'll be kind of fielding those questions in the background as we move forward here to keep things moving. Towards the end, there is a question slide, so any additional questions, as long as we have time, we'll move forward and answer those questions then. With that said, well, everybody can see the screen. Can somebody just confirm we can see the PowerPoint? Okay, I see some heads nodding. All right, and also please keep yourself on mute unless you have something to jump in with, just to keep the background noise down as well. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Lauren Pogson, co-chair or vice chair for the organizing committee, and we're going to talk about veteran agriculture. This is just a snapshot of what's going on in Connecticut right now. According to our stats, we have about 5,500 farms in Connecticut and approximately 895 veteran farmers. Now, I'm sure there's more out there. We are hoping to find those people and start working with them. Not everyone registers themselves as a veteran farm, or if you're part of another farm, like part of my family farm, they don't necessarily report that data. So we know that veterans are out there. We know that the rates of veterans in agriculture is increasing, and we want to harness that energy and that power and that community and create our agricultural tribe of veterans, essentially. So we are looking for more vets throughout the state, wanting to let them know that there is a group here that is coming together to create a supportive base and improve their ability in agriculture to succeed.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. And I see Brian Herbert and Nathan Wilson joined, so thank you guys for joining as well.
All right.
So
this slide also shows some more data. There's 27 active veteran farmers that came to the initial Farmer Veteran Coalition meeting and showed interest in moving forward with a chapter. And there's been a multitude of others reaching out ever since. So the desire to belong to this group is definitely there, and it's becoming more visible as the days go on. With the average age of farmers in Connecticut rising, as I've seen within my own family and my own community, it's imperative that we build a strong incoming base of farmers. And, you know, we believe as veterans that we have the strength, the power, the determination, the cooperation and organization to make this happen, to create future farms and future farmers in the state and continue our legacy of having a $4 billion or more agricultural output in the state. So veterans in agriculture are an invaluable resource, and teaming up together, as in the Farmer Veteran Coalition, is another step in the right direction. Jared.
Yep. Okay, so the Connecticut Chapter Organization Committee is pretty much the 8 of us we formed in order to bring a chapter formation of Veteran Farmer Coalition here in the state of Connecticut. This small group here, the 8 of us, represents the 27 veteran farmers that showed interest in bringing a local chapter here into the state. We represent the 132 that are currently registered with Farmer Veteran Coalition throughout the entire state of Connecticut. And I like to think that we represent all veteran farmers within the state of Connecticut that we have not found yet and have not been able to touch and outreach and bring them into the organization, which is why we're pushing to bring the organization here in Connecticut. We do have Doris Mold. I saw that she joined. She is the chapters coordinator from Farmer Veteran Coalition National on the call. And Willie, I'm not sure I saw him yet, but Willie Hines is the director of operations. We've worked with both of them over the past several months following the handbook to create this chapter information and ultimately how to bring the chapter here in the state of Connecticut. And part of that is having a stakeholders meeting with stakeholders like all of you on the phone, which we'll get more into. And Lauren, I'm sorry if I stole your slide. I totally did. All right, so I'll jump in on the slide that I was supposed to talk about. So for all of you that do not know who Farmer Veteran Coalition is, and up until probably about last year, I didn't know who they were either. But being in agriculture and a veteran here in the state of Connecticut, I was looking for veteran resources within agriculture. And in my search, I came across the Farmer Veteran Coalition. So what stood out is membership is free. All you have to do is, in order to be a veteran member, you just have to be a veteran, but also non-veterans can be supporting associate members as well. The organization is definitely in a growing stage, 23,900 members, and they're growing. 16 states currently have chapters formed, and 12 states are chapters in formation like us here in Connecticut in various stages. There is national support. So like I said, Doris is here on the phone. She helps us step by step getting this chapter formed here in the state. However, once the chapter is formed, there is local leadership within the organization and with the stakeholders, which we'll dive into more on further slides. But it gives us the ability to bring an organization that has national backing, but has a local leadership here into the state, which really interests me in the organization. So they've got existing resources, they have mentorship programs, internships, apprentices, grant programs, which we'll go into, education opportunities, and the ability to support the programs that we want to do here locally.
All right, so the mission of the Farmer Veteran Coalition is mobilizing veterans to feed America. You know, after we come home from our service in the military, we often feel the need to fulfill ourselves with a greater purpose. As in the military, we're always working for a greater purpose. And, whether that's your buddy next to you or it's the ultimate mission in front of you. And we need to fulfill that within ourselves when we come home. And so we literally can cultivate that when we get engaged in agriculture. And so the coalition helps to cultivate a new generation of farmers and food leaders to develop viable employment and meaningful careers in agriculture. We believe veterans possess the unique skills and character needed to strengthen rural communities and create sustainable food systems. We have that embrace the suck attitude. Agriculture is not for everybody. We live in discomfort quite often. We push ourselves. We are very organized and mission driven. So, those values and characteristics really are inherent in the farmer, in the agricultural world. And we believe that and know inherently that agriculture offers us purpose and opportunity, often through the physical labor, and helps us psychologically, really calms things down. It has been shown to reduce stress levels, improve symptoms of PTSD, and otherwise, as said, give an overall sense of purpose.
So I'd like to call out that Connecticut is a very supportive agricultural state. We have amazing programs here in Connecticut. We have amazing leadership here in Connecticut. And personally, I've only been in farming for 6 years, and I've kind of checked those boxes of a new and beginning farmer, a city boy gone farming, didn't come from a generational farm, kind of started up from the beginning, a startup farmer. So we have programs in Connecticut that really check all those boxes that I had to go through. But something else that and when I say I think that there's probably other veterans like me that share a similar story, is there wasn't a specific program for veterans that was readily available here in the state of Connecticut, which led us looking for that program. And that's really when we came across Farmer Veteran Coalition. And I think this next bullet here of why and how the Farmer Veteran Coalition came to be was, as I just explained, there's tons.
Looks like Jared froze here.
Yeah, it looks it. Lauren, do you want to keep going?
Yep. I don't know the next words out of his mouth, but I do know that the current services and programs and stakeholders at national that are offered through Farmer Veteran Coalition have really enhanced the viability of startups for veterans, for Connecticut agriculture. Uh-oh. Oh.
I'll get those slides right up for you, Lauren. Hold on one second.
Thanks. I was trying to pull them up too, but I don't think I can add them in. Okay.
I'm back.
You all set, Lauren?
All right.
Is that the only one that dropped?
I believe so. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's technology, you know. We went, I think I finished off the last slide that we were on. Okay, so we should go from there, from 6. Okay, so Homegrown by Heroes. This is a label that's been established by the Farmer Veteran Coalition. Farmers, farms with at least 50% of veteran input in the farm are allowed to apply for this. It is another avenue of marketing which sets us aside from other farms across the state. You know, we have Connecticut Grown, we have Grow Local, and I mean, there's competition everywhere, including the grocery stores. So having this label for us definitely sets us aside from, you know, from other farms, other businesses. Over 2,000 Farmer Veteran Coalition members are currently certified. Veterans of any branch of the U.S. military, and including those who are currently serving, are eligible. Those who receive characterization of service of honorable or under honorable conditions of discharge. As I mentioned, up to 50% veteran ownership and a minimum of 50% veteran management control of a farming operation, and value-added products that contain a minimum of 50% non-water ingredients are allowed to utilize this label in their businesses and products. I have not used this label. I have, however, utilized my own marketing, created my own signs, banners, put them on the side of my farm stand, marketed myself as a veteran farmer, and run advertisements on social media. And that distinction brought in business from customers from many towns away from where I was operating. I know a few of the farmers on board right now have used this and do use this label. And if they want to speak on that, then they, by all means.
Hey, Lauren, this is Matt Wilkinson, and we've actually been using the Homegrown by Heroes label for about 5 years. We were certified fairly early on in the process, and we're also do the Connecticut Grown certification to the Department of Ag. The difference with the Homegrown by Heroes over the Connecticut, it gives us a significant advantage in the market, where not only does it call out that we're a Connecticut product, but also shows that we're a veteran run farm. We've definitely received multiple sales from just that recognition and coming forward. And it also starts a lot of conversation with other veterans that are coming up, maybe not in the farming community, but just in general. And it gives them someone to talk to, someone that they share a story with. And it helps connect the farmer with our clients out there and our customers. And it's been a great benefit for us as well, not just on a sales side, but also just helping us connect with the rest of the veteran community around the state. So thanks.
Thanks, Matt. So as you can see, I mean, this collaboration with Farmer Veteran Coalition is definitely beneficial for Connecticut ag and small businesses. Joe?
Commissioner Hurlburt has his hand raised, Lauren.
Hi, Commissioner Hurlburt. How are you?
Hey, Lauren, great to see you again. It's been,
yeah, you too.
It's been a while, but I was really excited to see your name pop up here. Jared, you as well. I think I've met Lauren in person, but I think we've only been on a Zoom together. Well, first, thank you both for your leadership in this space and pursuing the Farmer Veteran Coalition. I've been aware of them and worked with them in different capacities for a number of years. I did want to point out that I just recently learned that the Farmer Veteran Coalition, in partnership with state departments of agriculture, does an agreement to do joint marketing. And so you have the Homegrown by Heroes with the state marketing program. In this case, it'd be the Connecticut Grown program that they offer. And we were literally a day away from signing the agreement to launch the Connecticut Grown and Homegrown by Heroes agreement when we learned about this effort. And I didn't want to do something that didn't seem to make sense for the veteran population that we're trying to serve. But Jared and Lauren, I'd be happy to chat offline with you guys. We've got a mock-up that the coalition put together so people can see what we're trying to accomplish. But to Matt's point just before me, we want to capture that it's a veteran farm, but we also want to make sure that we're capturing and explaining to the public that it's a Connecticut grown product, and merge those branding tools and the cumulative power that they both bring respectively to support your operations. So I wanted to put that out there, and happy to have more conversations about it. But there's a lot of interest. That spoke with Michael O'Gorman directly on this. He's really excited that Connecticut is interested in this. There's probably 24 states that are currently using that blended logo. And I would be happy for Connecticut to be the next one. So want to put that out there for a conversation. We can start an email chain after this, but I think it's a great way for us to highlight the service of our veterans and make sure that the public knows that they're also supporting the Connecticut farm.
Very good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, Amanda, I think we can go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is another program Farmer Veteran Coalition offers nationally. You don't need to have a local chapter here, and I thought it was good to kind of call out that many veteran farmers within the state of Connecticut have taken advantage of this program. It is a grant program put together with partnerships from the Farmer Veteran Coalition, Tractor Supply Company being one of the big ones. They hand out $1,000 gift cards, which one, Mike Swanson, who's on the call here, is a Connecticut veteran farmer, was a recipient of one of those. Thomas Bacon, I'm not sure if Tom's on the call here, but he's a Connecticut farmer interested in the local chapter here. He was a recipient. Nicole DeFelice, same thing. She is part of the organizing committee as well. Here in Harwinton, Connecticut, she received the fellowship grant as well. And then Steadfast Farms, which is the farm that I run here in Connecticut, we received that grant as well. So definitely a lot of Farmer Veteran Coalition is making a difference for farmers here in Connecticut, even before we have a local chapter on the national level. So the ability to kind of bring that even with local leadership will have a greater impact. If Nicole or Mike are on the call and they just wanted to say anything about their fellowship grant, feel free to jump in. Okay, so real quick, just an overview of the fellowship fund. It is a grant award that ranges from $1,000 to $5,000, and anyone that's received a grant before, any type of grant is a game changer, and it absolutely helps in agriculture. So can't dismiss it at all, and it makes a change. We can jump to the next slide. Last program here that we'll mention is Kubota's Geared to Give. So Kubota, every time they come out with a new tractor, they donate a tractor in every single region to a Farmer Veteran Coalition veteran farmer, just as another program that the national supports with Kubota. We can jump to the next slide. Okay, so these next two slides are probably the most important, and it's really why we're all here. Farmer Veteran Coalition is only as strong as its stakeholders that are a part of it and the veterans that work together with those stakeholders. So every single person on this call was specifically chosen from either a member of the chapter organizing committee, or the other 27 veterans that showed up for the first meeting. So you've all had a personal impact on a farmer within the veteran community. You have done great things, whether it's programs or leaderships within the state of Connecticut that made us think of you and ask you to be here and support veteran farmers by being a stakeholder. So what does being a stakeholder mean for a local chapter? There's a number of ways that you guys can support us and be a part of the local chapter. Creation and the effectiveness of programs that veteran farmers want to put together in a few slides. After these, we'll go over kind of a 2-year plan that we have to do for the national and some ideas that veteran farmers have put together, and those ideas can't be made possible without key stakeholders like all of you. You can serve as board members, advisors, committee members, whichever way you feel comfortable, either as an organization or even a person outside the organization that just wants to lend their expertise. Sharing of information, if you're adding a subject matter expert on a topic, opinions, advice, sharing manpower and resources with the existing programs that are throughout the state of Connecticut, just compounding the effectiveness that we have throughout the state. I think the big one here is contributing monetary donations. It's not always required, but the fundraising portion, as an organization, we can reach more people in order to make fundraising more effective, to put programs into motion that, one, not only benefits veteran farmers here in the state of Connecticut, but also the entire community as a whole. I think a lot of the things that drive not only veteran farmers, but farmers within the state is our communities that we live in and that we farm in. It's a two-way street, and we couldn't exist without them, just like we can't exist. Farmer Veteran Coalition Connecticut chapter can't exist without our stakeholders. So example of organizations there at the bottom: academics, government agencies, private companies, union reps, nonprofits. The list was endless. We spent a lot of time really thinking of who would have an impact in the state of Connecticut, organizations and leaders. And I think from what I saw on the registration list, we check all those boxes within the example of stakeholders. So I can't thank everybody enough for registering and being on this call.
So as Jared stated, this Connecticut chapter really can't happen without you, without stakeholders. Your support is paramount. You increase the diversity of institutional knowledge, networking systems, and other collaborative efforts. Everybody has something to give, intellectually, physically, financially, network-wise, you name it. You bring it to the table, and it helps all of us. It helps us succeed in our mission and all of our common goals for sustainable agriculture in Connecticut. We are the veteran farmers. The coalition that we'd like to establish here is not setting ourselves apart. We are trying to incorporating into an even larger base of support. We see all this, all these programs, all these opportunities out there, and we want to jump on, we want to collaborate, we want to create more for everyone. So it's not an either or, it's a let's do it together. How you can help, how stakeholders also help through having an extra voice. You know, it's networking. You're amplifying the chapter's media and events through your networks, through your events, connect farmers to the needs of the Connecticut consumer. You offering workshops and training activities and increase Connecticut's agricultural strength, and join specific committees to support certain projects or initiatives. So there's a lot of opportunities here to get on board. And as I said, every individual, every group offers something different, and it just increases our likelihood as an entire state to succeed and enhance our agricultural base.
So really quick, we won't spend a lot of time on it here, but we mentioned how a stakeholder can be involved. So this just kind of gives you a little more background of what those positions mean within Farmer Veteran Coalition. So the board of directors, that's the governing body responsible for management of the human, physical, and financial assets, 9 to 11 members. As far as a commitment, they meet quarterly. One of those times is usually in person, which I think is Farmer Veterans Coalition's national event that they hold annually. It's a 3-year term with no term limits, and the board of directors also recommends the executive board to national for approval, which is another step that we'll touch upon on a future slide. Other ways to get involved, you know, if you don't have the time commitment, you don't want to be a board member, that's fine. There's volunteering for committees. I think one of the biggest things that really attracts me to Farmer Veteran Coalition is the ability to create our own programs within the state. And by setting up different committees and working on different projects, we can focus on a lot of these topics: mentorship, mental health, membership of finding the veteran farmers within the state, fundraising, conferences, and really the number of committees and the types of committees we can have it's endless. It's really up to all of us. And then advisors, and this is another key reason why stakeholders are so important. Is you bring significant knowledge and leadership to the ag world and to the state of Connecticut, and we can kind of use that to jumpstart the programs that we have through Farmer Veteran Coalition and the operations that we have to do in order to run the organization here in Connecticut. Here's just a quick slide of a lot of names you all probably recognize. They all have a presence here in Connecticut, and they are currently national supporters of Farmer Veteran Coalition, as well as in other states that currently have chapters. Is this one you, Lauren, or is it me? I'll step on your toes again.
No, I think I've got you down for this, and I'm up for 16, but I'll do it if you want.
I'll grab it.
Okay.
So the steps to forming your chapters, the check marks are where what we've done so far. So as you can see, the last check mark there is we're hosting the stakeholders meeting. Each one of these previous steps we've already accomplished, and they've all taken their own time and commitment from the people in this committee, as well as the other veteran farmers that showed interest in this group. So moving forward, you know, the 3 big ones we have here are creating the executive board and the board of directors. We can't create the board of directors because we need stakeholders, as you can serve on the board. And the executive board is appointed by those board members. Creating a 2-year strategic plan, we will talk about this in a little bit. You know, we've got ideas as an organization, as veteran farmers here in the state of Connecticut, but we really need the support of all of you on the call in your own respective ways. And then the last one here is to vote by the stakeholders to form the chapter. So obviously, if we don't have stakeholders, there's not a lot that we can do here in the state, and it becomes much more difficult. So we need your interest, we need your support.
All right, so I apologize, Jared, because I was writing and I did miss a slide, so that was me. So thank you.
All good.
Oh, sorry. So our stakeholder 2-year plan, we kicked around a few ideas. These are things we'd like to make happen. Identify veteran farmers across the state to enhance our outreach and support, of course. Identify resources, grants, promotions, companies willing to work with farmer veterans, training or implementation of business plans. Establish a Farmer Veteran Coalition Fund for farm needs. This is huge, as any startup knows, especially ag, equipment, labor, even technology, animals, feed, you name it. It's very expensive to get going, and of course certifications or to meet regulatory needs and whatnot. Also for emergencies, such as our state being flooded out, a month ago, 2 months ago. We'd like to establish equipment sharing opportunities, so one farm isn't just holding the burden to buy all this equipment. Maybe another farm has it, but maybe we don't know that person. We want to try to make those connections and make that happen. A Homegrown by Heroes support partnership with Connecticut restaurants and groceries. That's huge. We all have our favorite restaurants throughout the state. Some of them are really good at getting local produce. Some of them are still like, well, Cisco's 50 cents for a bunch of beets, so I'm not going to pay, $2 for a bunch of beets, even if they're just pulled and hand rinsed and whatnot. So having our names out there, having the Homegrown by Heroes out there, and having the restaurant say, yeah, we take pride in having these people on board as supporters of this community operation, which is what a restaurant really is. Labor program, it's super hard to get a hold of people on board. A lot of people don't want to work for ag wages. A lot of people don't want to necessarily do the hard work. And some people just can't afford to work a seasonal position, which at least in my farm, it's a spring to fall thing. It would be awesome to have a labor pool of people who are willing to go farm to farm, work together. But again, that takes cooperation, coordination with other entities who may know of people looking for work. Students, graduating students who need apprenticeships, agricultural apprenticeships. This is something to establish. VA veteran therapeutic program utilizing agriculture. I've known of a few businesses that do this. One in particular was very successful with utilizing her horses and managing PTSD and other physical issues, due to service and combat. And I know she had a connection through the VA to transport and identify veterans who wanted to be part of this program, and a feed cooperative and ecosystem. So there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a buddy of mine in Vermont who established a coalition in Vermont. He works with UVM Extension Service. They regularly come out to the farm. They have meetings, they have networks, they have students come out and do work there. Working with the university would be amazing. He's managed to collaborate again through this network, through finding other people and partners to work with, having someone who's interested in having an outdoor preschool on his property. So he's allowing that, which I'm sure brings in an extra income source, but he's also not in charge of that. But it was his stakeholders who helped put that group together. So it really is imperative. We have great ideas to implement, and this is just the beginning, really.
All right, so we are 42 minutes after the hour. So we're pretty close to on time of where we wanted to be. I will lead with, if you are interested in getting involved with Farmer Veteran Coalition in any of the ways we talked about, as a stakeholder, just serving on the board, being part of a committee, serving as an advisor, sharing information, this is how you can contact us and let us know. So we set up this temporary email address. Obviously, as we move forward and form a more formal chapter, then we will use a domain, probably not Gmail. But this is a good way for us to kind of collect the interest. We would appreciate if you let us know by December 7th, because this is a process we'd like to keep moving forward and get the chapter formed here in Connecticut. So with that said, I'd like to close with some stories from veterans. But before we get to that point, if there's any questions, we've got, looks like about 17 minutes here left. Is there any questions that have come up that haven't been fielded by the chat that anyone has that we can answer now before we go into that closing? Okay.
This is Jamie Smith from the Department of Ag. I think, Commissioner Herbert's still on there, but I had dropped a comment in the chat about, your 2-year plan looks really great. And there's a lot of stuff happening that may not be exactly what you want, but I would love to chat with you folks more to just share. And I see Joan is in there too, just to share what we know is going on, that maybe at least it would be a launching point so you're not starting completely from scratch on a whole bunch of different initiatives. So
Great. Thanks, Jamie. And hi, Jamie.
Hi. I've been thinking about you and how your grant project's been going.
I think about you every day. That's why I threw that picture up for you.
Nice. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's really great. Thanks, Jared.
Yep. Okay. So if anything does come to mind, you can email us at that email address if you have any questions. We'll monitor it pretty regularly, and we'll get back to you as well. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for joining today. And before I kick it over to any veteran that wants to talk, I do want to take this time to call out Amanda Fargo Johnson and her team, Jillian. They're from the Connecticut RC&D. They also run the FarmUP program. And Jillian and Amanda are both a perfect example of a stakeholder and the type of value that a stakeholder can bring to veteran farmers, the Farmer Veteran Coalition. We all would not be here. This PowerPoint, this Zoom meeting, every step so far would not have been possible if it wasn't for Amanda and Jillian and the rest of her team. She has really been that rock that has driven us forward, because I don't know where she finds the time, but she finds the time during the day. She finds the time after hours. It's Amanda and Jillian, they actually genuinely care about farmers in Connecticut. They care about veteran farmers in Connecticut. I mean, if she moved, I would follow Amanda, because she really drives bringing us all together. So I wanted to take a minute and thank Amanda, thank Jillian for putting this together. And with that said, if there's any veteran farmer on the call that kind of wants to add in, kind of combining agriculture and being a veteran, feel free to jump on and kind of share a short story.
Jared, I want first also I want to thank Amanda and Jillian because you guys are awesome and helping us put all this together. But I wanted to key on something that Lauren had said and early on and talked about how we have this, as veterans, we have kind of this shared story. It doesn't matter which branch or service you're in. We have a shared story, a shared place we came from. And a lot of times veterans are hesitant to ask for help, ask for assistance, or to reach out to other organizations. But they'll be very comfortable reaching out to a fellow veteran. They know we share a story, the same problems, the same hardships, same mindsets. And they know that, like I know I can call Jared at any time, and I've only met him through Zoom, but I know he'd do anything to help me out just because of the veteran connection. And so we really talked about this a lot in some of our earlier meetings that we want to be a partner with Farm Bureau and the Department of Ag and all the other organizations and associations out there. We think we can bring a group of people together and strengthen in not only the veteran side of the house, but also some of the ag side in Connecticut, just because we have that shared interest, shared experiences that we trust each other with. So it's kind of a unique place to come into ag from. So thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Matt. Sports community really brings everything back home for me and just makes me want to grow bigger and work with all of you to have that same effect on our community here within the state of Connecticut. So that's a little bit of my story here. I would like to also open up the floor. Doris or Willie from National, if you guys want to jump in and say anything as well as our national reps.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize. I had disappeared into the ether at the beginning of the meeting. Wonderful rural internet. I'm Doris Mold. I'm the chapter's coordinator for Farmer Veteran Coalition nationally, and Willie and I are both part-time in our roles. And when I am not doing this, I have a dairy farm in Wisconsin that I work on and own, and do some other things in agriculture as well. But focus shouldn't be on me. It's really on your tremendous chapter organizing committee, Jared and Lauren, and just taking wonderful leadership there, and Amanda and Jillian and their support roles have just been awesome. So stakeholders out there, you have a wonderful team that is putting this together. I hope that you join them, and we're really excited to have Connecticut coming on board. Happy to answer any questions that you might have as well.
Thanks, Doris. Okay, with that said, I mean, we're 9 minutes before the top of the hour here, so I'll kind of open it up to anybody else. If anybody had any last minute questions or comments. Amanda?
Yeah, thanks, Jared. I will just say that this meeting is being recorded. So as a follow-up, all participants will get a link to the recording. It will be available on the Connecticut RC&D YouTube page as well. We appreciate everybody joining us. And in addition to emailing your interest level, the chapter organizing committee is starting to hold monthly meetings. So if anyone is interested, you can email me. I'll drop my email in the chat. Our next meeting will be on December 1st at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody that attended and registered. Hopefully the ones that couldn't make it do watch the recording and we hear from them as well. But once again, just seeing the interest in the registrations and just the response when, as like I said, as veterans, we got together and we said, who are the leaders within the state? What are the organizations we want to be a part of and partner with and grow with? And that's how all of you got here today. And you really responded to our email and answered that call, and we're grateful for that. So thank you, everybody, for your time, and happy Veterans Day.